Hey everyone, welcome to your 3.6 Aspire to Do video. Today we're going to be talking about thesis statements and themes, which are two really big concepts that will help you when you start writing your essay for the summative. So our summative for Of Mice and Men is writing a 5-paragraph essay. And it might have been a while since you've written a 5-paragraph essay, or maybe you've never written a 5-paragraph essay. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the structure of this essay so you know what you are going to be doing. Obviously, it's going to be 5 paragraphs. The first one is your introduction paragraph. It starts off with a hook, which just means like something really engaging to grab your reader's attention. Then you're going to give some background information on the book Of Mice and Men. And your last sentence of your introduction paragraph is your thesis statement, which is like your main argument. You're going to have 3 body paragraphs, and they follow this PEE, the P method, which maybe you learned about in 9th grade. But basically, each paragraph is going to have a point, and then you're going to have a piece of evidence, and you are going to elaborate or explain that piece of evidence. So that those will be your 3 body paragraphs. And then your last paragraph is the conclusion, and it kind of mirrors the introduction paragraph because you're going to restate your thesis statement, give a little summary of the main points, and then you'll have a concluding statement to end the essay. So let's talk about the thesis statement because this is maybe the most important part of any essay. It is the central argument, so the overall argument, what are you trying to say in your essay? That is your thesis statement. It needs to be arguable, meaning that someone could take the opposite side and debate you on this statement. It needs to be specific, and it needs to be based on evidence from the book. So a thesis statement shouldn't be too obvious. Like this example right here, Cooper is a high school. That would be a terrible thesis statement because it's not arguable. You could not argue that Cooper is not a high school. A better example for a thesis statement would be something like, Cooper does a better job preparing students for the future than many other Minnesota schools. So obviously this one is a little bit more arguable. Maybe someone would disagree with this statement and want to take the opposite side. It's also specific, and I could pull up evidence that shows that Cooper is doing a good job preparing students for the future. So this would be a great thesis statement. Thesis statements are also based on textual evidence. Textual evidence is another word for like quotes or examples from the book. So your argument needs to be something where you could like open up Of Mice and Men. You could find a quote that supports your argument that you're making. We are going to look at a couple examples of strong thesis statements using the play that we read first semester called A Raisin in the Sun. So all of these thesis statements are going to be arguable, specific, and based on textual evidence. This one says, the character Ruth Younger from A Raisin in the Sun won't give up on her dream to build a better home for her family, and it uses the symbol of wanting a new home to symbolize wanting better for her family. So you could argue this, it's really specific. You could find quotes from the play to support it. Another really good example for a thesis statement would be, Beneatha Younger in A Raisin in the Sun is a strong, independent Black woman who dreams of becoming a doctor, no matter what challenges she faces, and she learns to express African culture through her hair, though it wasn't common in the 1950s. So you'll notice they're kind of long. It's all one sentence, but it has a lot in it because it's so specific and arguable. Finally, a good thesis statement would be, in A Raisin in the Sun, Lena Younger, or Mama's dream, is to buy a house for her whole family, and Lorraine Hansberry uses the symbol of the house to represent a new beginning for the Younger family. Okay, so now I want you to practice writing a thesis statement for Of Mice and Men. You have been looking at some of these lines of inquiry, and those basically are just the prompts that you could choose to write about for your essay. So there's a bunch of examples. There are questions listed on pages 17 and 18 and 21 of your packet. So you're going to choose one that you are interested in answering, and then you are going to practice writing a thesis statement following this template. So find a spot in your packet, choose what question you're answering, and then you will complete the sentence, Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck communicates the message that blank, fill in the blank, through which literary lens? So remember, we talked about 3 literary lenses in this unit. We have the Marxist, the feminist, and the social justice lens. So choose one that you want to focus on in order to answer this question. All right, the second part of the video is that we are talking about theme. So theme is a central message of the text. It's like a deeper meaning that we can find within the book. Theme should be written as a full sentence. It's basically answering this question, what is the message of the text? What is the meaning the author wants us to understand? And we can use something called a motif to help us understand the theme. So a motif is something, remember in A Raisin in the Sun when we talked a lot about symbols and symbolism? A motif is basically a symbol that is repeated over and over in the book. So the plant was a symbol that came up a lot in A Raisin in the Sun. And the symbol of the plant tells us this message or this theme, that family, no matter what their condition is important and should be treasured. Money was another symbol we saw in the play, and the theme or the message is that pride is more important than money. Racism was also a symbol or a theme or something that came up in the text many times in A Raisin in the Sun. And we could look at this theme, racism can impact the lives and relationships of African American people. So these are all full sentences, they're messages, they're deeper meanings in the text. Themes should also be based on textual evidence. So same with a thesis statement, you need to be able to find quotes or examples directly from the book that would support that message or that theme. There's 4 bigger topics that we are going to look at in Of Mice and Men that could help you generate themes. So we have dreams, powerlessness, loneliness, and fate. Themes should be not too specific and not too vague. So something like Lenny loves soft things, that's too specific. A theme should be like a message that could apply to our lives today. Something like, the things we love can end up hurting us. So remember, these are the 4 topics we're going to be looking at in Of Mice and Men. And I want you to practice writing your own theme. So use one of those 4 topics, dreams, loneliness, powerlessness, and fate. Choose one of them. And complete this sentence here. Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck communicates the theme that, what is it telling us about one of those 4 topics? So thesis statements are often based off of themes from literature, and for our summative, that 5-paragraph essay you're going to be writing, your thesis will be answering a question connected to one of those 4 theme topics. So if you have any questions about something I covered in this video, if you have questions about how to write your thesis statement or how to write a theme, please ask me because this is going to be really important for your essay. And now that you're done with this video, you are going to look at the theme and thesis matching on page 22 of your packet. Good luck.